Hey guys, it's Miss Starmer, and this is your writing lesson for today. Remember, sometimes our writing lesson is only really about the mechanisms and the ins and outs of how to be a good writer and some tips and tricks along the way. And sometimes it ends with a writing assignment, and sometimes it does not. So I'm telling you today, you will not have a follow-up writing assignment. You started a Monday writing a narrative, and now we're just learning about narratives. So today's day 3 of week 1, learning about narratives. Today we're learning to evaluate narratives. The standard is I can follow agreed upon roles for discussion and carry out assigned roles. So we're going to actually take a look at this excerpt from Walk Two Moons, Chapter 2. In the car, as we started our long journey to Lewiston, Idaho, my grandmother Hiddle said, "Salamanca, why don't you entertain us? What sort of thing did you have in mind?" I hoped they would not expect me to do something thumpingly embarrassing, like climb on top of the car and sing a little ditty. You can never tell with my grandparents. But Gramps said, "How about a story? Spin us a yam." I certainly do know heaps of stories, but I learned most of them from my Gramps. Graham suggested I tell one about my mother. That I could not do. I had reached the point where I could stop thinking about her every minute of every day. I wasn't ready, or at least I didn't think I was ready, to talk about her. Gramps said, "Well then, what about your friends? You got any tales to tell about them?" Instantly, Phoebe Winterbottom came to mind. There was certainly a hog's belly full of things to tell about her. I could tell you an extensively strange story, I warned. "Oh, good," Graham said. "Delicious." And that, my little screen is blocking. I can't see this. And that is how I happened to suspend my tree prayers and tell them about Phoebe Winterbottom, her disappearing mother, and the lunatic. It is also how I discovered that beneath Phoebe's story was another story. So as we're looking at this writing, we need to think about, does it have all the components that we spoke about yesterday? Does it have dialogue? Can you see characters talking inside their quotation marks? Yes. Does it have, this is an excerpt, so it's really just a piece of a longer story, right? So it's okay that it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and the end, because we know that Walk Two Moons does. This is just a snippet from that story. So does it also have capitalization and punctuation? Yes. Can you hear a direction that the writing's going in? Can you hear the author's purpose through here? Yes. Okay. What else do you think about this? Think about that for just a minute. Okay, let's move on. Here's narrative text 6. So now I want you to look at narrative text 6. This one's called frustration. Okay? When my teacher, Mr. Johnson, assigned us a writing assignment that had me stumped. What do I want to be when I grow up and why? How am I supposed to know what I want to be when I grow up when I'm only 10 years old? Sure, I can make something up, but he said it had to be as real as possible. I've been sitting at my desk for an hour now. 3 sheets of paper with a word or two. Each are crumpled on the floor. I just want to scream. I glanced at the clock and it was already 7 p.m. I had to write at least 2 pages. Maybe I'll write about becoming a doctor. I put my pen to the paper and I started to write. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Now what do I write? I don't know why I want to be a doctor. I crumpled up another piece of paper and I added it to the pile. I was so frustrated. I heard a knock on my door, and my brother says, "Can you please help me with my math homework?" Yes, I need a break. It only took 10 minutes to make my little brother smile from ear to ear because I had helped him figure out every problem. Then I had to finish my paper, or actually get it started. I sat and I thought, and all of a sudden it came to me. I love helping kids learn. I want to be a teacher. Writing those 2 pages was easy once I figured out the plan for my future. Okay, so this one also has dialogue and it has some other components. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to pause this video and then use the checklist that I'm going to post. It's a checklist. And kind of go over and look at the checklist and act like you're the teacher grading it and see, does this have all of the things on the checklist to make it good narrative? Then go back and do the same thing with the Walk Two Moons excerpt. That is all for today. Good job.